Welcome back, Geordies. It's Adam from Two for Joy with my instant match reaction to Newcastle's 2-1 win at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And I'll be honest, this is not going to be all roses. I'm really pleased we got the win. I'm really pleased we've taken 3 points against an incredibly poor Tottenham Hotspur. But there's still issues here that against better teams we will get undone with. And my major reservation from this starting lineup is one, playing Dan Burn and Kieran Trippier at fullbacks, a 33-year-old and a 35-year-old up against Odebear and Simmons, and I didn't feel they did too badly against a really poor Spurs team, but against any other team that are actually capable of composing themselves up front, I think we get pulled apart. And my other issue is £123 million worth of strikers that can't make the starting lineup. And this really concerns me that Eddie doesn't have the trust or isn't willing to give the confidence to Nick Voltemade and Johan Wissa to start them or believe in them. And it may be justified. We walked away with 3 points with a 2-1 victory. But in this first half, I felt like we dominated the first 25 minutes. But certain players, Anthony Gordon is not a striker. He is not a number 9. And while he gets an assist in the second, for the first 60 minutes of this game, Anthony Gordon is almost a ghost. He's in the wrong positions. He's not following in like a striker would. It's not his position to play. And I feel like he has gone missing in far too many games this season. But on 45 minutes, Joe Willock goes through one-on-one with the keeper, scores a fantastic goal. And I'm really pleased. I'm really pleased after seeing Anthony Elanga and Joe Willock and Bruno for the first half really excel, really show something different. And I thought Joe Willock, for the first, not the first time, he's been not bad in dribs and drabs this season. And he started to come into a little bit of form, but he looked like our most threatening player going forward. Taking chances on, getting in the right positions, making runs. And when he scores this goal, I'm like, you're worth every penny of that. You've earned that goal. For it to be ruled out by the tightest fucking VAR call I've ever seen. And what I don't like about this is it's the Anthony Taylor show. I fucking hate Anthony Taylor. Terrible referee. He is the guy, the greatest showman. Everything is about him and how he referees a game. There are tackles in this game that he gives fouls for that are never fouls. And there are blatant fouls that he stands there and waves players up. But Joe Willock, my issue with this goal is that we don't see the same angle that VAR see this to draw their lines, to make their decision. We don't see the still frame of when the ball's played to them drawing the lines. Because I'll be quite honest, the 2 camera angles they showed on Sky Sports, he's on. He is 100%, he is on. And Mickey van der Ven, they've drawn it on the floor as from the shirt sleeve. If you look at that still, there is no way Joe Willock is further than the end of Mickey van der Ven's shirt sleeve. It's criminal, absolutely criminal. But in just fashion, Anthony Elanga rolls the ball back. Joe Willock with the most fantastic whipped cross 5 minutes into injury time in the first half. And Malik Chow raises like a fucking baller to head that ball down. Vicario makes the stop. And Chow fights off 2 defenders to get there first. And I'll be honest, Sven Botman the last game and Malik Chow this game, these two are absolutely doing it. And I know Sven was at fault for the goal we conceded last time. But I have to say, Sven and Malik, I thought were absolutely fucking brilliant tonight. Probably two of the strongest performances on the pitch. So I'm super happy. Malik Chow puts us 1-0 up and we go in at half-time 1-0 ahead. And I felt like that first half, Anthony Elanga, Joe Willock, Bruno, Malik Chow, Sven Botman all played really well. I did feel that Harvey Barnes was a little unlucky with a few chances. I felt that Anthony Elanga really grew into this game. I thought he put in a really solid performance, and I'll be quite honest, is one of the only players that looks like he's on an upturn of form. But as we come out for the second half, and I think we're playing against a poor Spurs side, and we really need to kill this game off. And in true Newcastle fashion, we allow Spurs back into the game. I've got down here 58 minutes. Dan Burn makes a late tackle on Conor Gallagher. This tackle is so fucking late. It's so reckless to give away a free kick just outside on the wing of our box. Absolutely light years. Conor Gallagher is light years ahead of Dan Burn. He's touched this ball out. It's almost at the corner flag before Dan Burn lamps into him. It is an awful tackle. And I just don't understand it. Just completely don't understand it. But all Spurs from half-time. 63 minutes in. Archie Gray from a corner. Archie Gray from a knockdown, I think, from Dragusin, manages to turn the ball in. And Newcastle at the back are so vulnerable. This is my point. We have dropped leads. We have dropped more points from winning positions than any other team in the Premier League. Any other team. Which is a catastrophic stat when you're sat 10th in the table. 10th in the table, and we've dropped more points from winning positions than any other team. So my thing is, Eddie Howe saying if he didn't think he was the right man for the job, he'd step down. It's a valiant thing to say, and I do believe him. I believe he's an honest person. I believe he's lost his way a little bit. And he's saying we'll go back to basics. That was not the basics of defending tonight. And going back to basics is not playing two of the oldest players on the pitch at fullback and expecting them to high press and maraud forward. There's a couple of points there tonight where Kieran Trippier is our furthest player forward on the pitch and Harvey Barnes is sitting in at left back while Dan Burn careers back from the halfway line. And this just screams problems with structure, organisation and knowing where they need to be when they need to be there. But onto the goal, and I'll give him credit. Anthony Gordon, honestly, I thought he was a ghost for 60 minutes of this game. And I was so frustrated that he was playing as the 9. But he picks up the ball on the outside of the box. A great little turn. Flicks it inside, and Jacob Ramsey, and I couldn't be happier for Jacob Ramsey. His first goal for Newcastle. I feel like he's been up and down. One week he's kind of looked good, and the next week he's not really had the best of games. But I was really pleased for Jacob Ramsey to get this goal. And then 73 minutes. So I'll make the point. And Spurs were shit tonight. Absolutely shit. They make 3 subs with Thomas Frank. And when they make the subs, he brings off midfielders, Kolo Muani on. And you're like, he's bringing off a striker for a midfielder. What is he doing here? It's a diversionary tactic. So you don't know how they're going to line up. And then you have to rework it out. So he's pushed Conor Gallagher out onto the right-hand side. He's put João Paulinho into the middle. He's changed it around up front. And this is something that, although they didn't get a result, he's trying to make Newcastle work to figure out the tactics. And we see managers do this to us week in, week out. When it comes to Newcastle substitutions, Anthony Elanga off, Murphy on, Ramsey off, Tonali on. And we sit in the same 4-3-3. When Eddie says go back to basics, go back to the same thing that's been letting us down all season. And 77 minutes, I've got it down here because I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Matthias Tell runs across to the centre of our 18-yard box. He's about 22 yards out. He winds back to shoot, and Malik Chow puts in the most incredible tackle. The most incredible staunch in block, an absolute stalwart of a defensive tackle. And in that moment, I honestly thought, do you know what? I think Malik Chow tonight was my man of the match. I don't think he put a foot wrong. I think he covered for Kieran Trippier when Trips is pushed forward. And I don't want to single out Dan Burn and Kieran Trippier as they're bad players. They are past their peak players that are being asked to play in a style that does not suit their skill set. It does not suit Dan Burn's skill set or Kieran Trippier's skill set to run the full length of the pitch up and down the entire game. So I thought Malik Chow, absolute stalwart of a defensive display. But I wanted to make the point of Sandro Tonali. Now, he came on at 73 minutes. Sandro Tonali made his first tackle in the 95th minute. And I'll be quite honest, it looked like he was on holiday. It looked like this guy is lining himself up for summer. He couldn't give a toss. He's not interested. No interceptions, one block, one tackle. And I do not see... I've seen things online where people have said they're going to put him up for £100 million in the summer. I do not see anybody looking at him who's willing to pay more than we paid for him, 50 million quid. I don't see it. And then the last point, Bruno putting in another solid display, 90th minute. Looks like he's got some sort of pull to the hamstring or thigh. And he comes off injured for Lewis Hall to come on. And my worry is that Bruno will be out again and we will struggle to find the form or find the creativity to be able to score goals and win games. And as we all know, in the 4.5 years or 4 years since the takeover, we haven't won a game without Bruno. It's a worry. It's a scathing indictment of the setup of this team. And I'll be quite honest, I don't know where it goes next. But I will say, we needed that 3 points. It's a really valuable victory. I don't want to be too down on it because I felt like it wasn't a bad display. It was just a half-decent display against a really poor Spurs team. And I wanted to make the point for how poor this Spurs team were. Tottenham Hotspur, possession 52%. Tottenham Hotspur's passes 375 to Newcastle's 332. And Tottenham Hotspur's passing accuracy 86% to Newcastle's 83. It's a worry that one of the poorest sides in the Premier League, who is slipping down to within 3 points of relegation, are better with the ball with us than us, better in possession and keeping the ball than us. I don't quite know. If Eddie Howe was to go away, I'll leave you with this point. If Eddie Howe was to go away and re-look at this Newcastle side and say, do you know what, I want us to play more with the ball and worry less about our defensive structure. I want us to go out and win games rather than try and defend wins. and look at the tactics and change it up and say, right, we're going to start playing a different style of football in order to get wins. The Premier League evolves, football changes, it goes in cycles. We've seen long throws and set pieces come back as a mainstay. We've seen Pep Guardiola's possession-based football as a mainstay. The one thing that died a death for every team is murder ball. And that is the style of play that Newcastle have played for seasons. Eddie Howe's intensity is our identity. We're not the first team to do this. Jurgen Klopp's done it. Bielsa did it for Leeds and it absolutely ruined them. It's the reason teams pick up injuries. It's the reason you cannot sustain a Premier League season playing like this. We have to find another way to win. And if Eddie Howe can do that, there's nothing I'd like more than to see him change this Newcastle team and lead us to something different. But I'm not sure he can. But we'll take the win, a valuable 3 points. I think it puts us, let me just check, up to 10th in the table with Tottenham slipping to 16th. Like I say, 3 points from relegation. And currently, West Ham 1-0 up against Manchester United puts them level on points with Notts Forest. That's a really tight tie down there. But again, we're only 7 points from it. So we'll see where the next lot of games go. But if you've liked the video, be sure to give me a thumbs up. Make sure you get involved. Thanks to all of you for getting involved in the last couple of videos. The comments have been brilliant. It's been really interesting to hear other people's points of view. I do know I'm not always right. And hopefully, guys, I will see you in the next one.